According to the definition of Blender, UV unwrapping and mapping is the process of scanning your object for texturing. This means that in order for us to have our textures, designs, and patterns laid out properly on our item, we have to do this process. Also, if you want to draw your own designs for your item, we will use the maps that we will be producing here. The very first thing to consider in UV unwrapping is to be sure if your current object here is final. This is because once we start unwrapping our UV maps and then you decide that you want to extrude this part, for example, and add some other details later on, when we put textures in Unity, this extruded part's texture will look like it's stretched, and we don't want that. Only the parts of your object that were properly unwrapped will have the proper texture layout. Unless you want to repeat the whole process again, then I guess it's okay. So, let me just delete the part that I extruded and go back to the original. The very first step in unwrapping a UV map is to add seams on the mesh. Just like the clothes in real life, we also have seams in our objects. I will just hide the unutilized objects here so that they won't get in the way, and let's focus on one part of our object first. The UV maps that you will be making are based on the materials that you made before. If your skirt and shorts have a material for each and you joined them both all together earlier, go to Edit mode, right-click, Separate, Material, so that the object that you selected will be separated according to their materials. However, if you only added a material for the skirt and not on the shorts, instead of separating it by material, separate it by loose parts so that it will be separated by object. Another, if you added a material for both the shorts and the skirt and you decided that you want to have just one material for them both, while they are joined together, delete one of the materials that you made and separate them by loose parts. Okay? Now, go here in the UV Editing tab and zoom in to your object. Let me first show you what it looks like if you will not add a seam to your object after unwrapping. To unwrap, go to Edit mode, select all the components, and press U, Unwrap. The skirt's map is in a circle form. Now, let's see what the texture will look like. I downloaded a UV texture guide from Google so that I can have a reference if the UV islands are inverted or whatnot. If you want to do the same as me, you can click the link in the description box and download the image. To add a texture, go to the Material Properties, scroll down until you find the base color. Select the yellow dot here and choose Image Texture. Click Open and locate the UV guide that you downloaded earlier. Point your mouse cursor in the right screen, which is here, then press Z on your keyboard. Select Material Preview. We can now see how the texture is laid out with this unseamed UV map. Now, let's add a seam in our object. I'll just go back to solid view so I can better see the components, then switch to Edge Select. I will select all the edges on the part where the skirt is supposed to be divided. So usually, I select the edges here in the middle part of the sides. After selecting, right-click, mark Seam. You will know that you have successfully added a seam by this red mark on your selected edges. Do the same to the other side of the skirt. After seaming, I will unwrap our skirt once again. And there! Our map is now divided into two parts. Particularly, it was divided on where I added the seams. However, I want to have the shorts and the skirt in one UV map only, so I will add seams on the shorts as well. So let me just add seams first. After adding the seams to the shorts, I will join the two once again, the short and the skirt, and unwrap. Now, the UVs for both skirt and shorts are now into one image only. Going back to the material preview, I will just arrange the UV islands to its proper arrangement based on how it is projected here in our skirt. We have 4 UV selections here just like in the mesh selection. Vertex, edge, face, and lastly, island selection, where we will be able to select each island as a whole. Personally, I use the island selection to arrange my UVs. So now, I will just move, rotate, and scale the UV islands properly to make sure that everything will fit in one picture and have the proper text orientation. This is also the reason why I have repeatedly asked you to take care of your topology, because bad topology comes with bad UV maps, and bad UV maps come with bad textures. There are times where I am using an add-on for the UV maps, but to warn you, this add-on is only applicable on certain topologies and objects. So if you tried it on other objects, the result might not be as you expected, so it's a trial and error part, okay? And as you can see, the texture on the sides here, where we mark the seam, are slanted a little bit, but I wanted to have it straightened. For those who do not know yet, I will show you how to install add-ons that are community made, meaning they are not officially made by Blender. So here, we will be installing the UV add-on that I am using. I have included the link in the description box, so please check it out. Once you are in GitHub, select this code here with the drop-down button and choose Download Zip. After downloading, go back to Blender. Go here in the Edit, Preferences, Add-ons. Click the Install button and locate where you have downloaded the UV zip file. For me, it is here in the Downloads folder. Click the UV Square zip file and choose Install Add-on. Now, check the UV squares so that it will be implemented to your Blender. Close the window. Now, if you click the sideways drop-down button, you will now have the UV squares option. Next, I will select the UV island that I want to straighten and choose to square grid. Then, I will just scale the UV again to arrange. Do the same for the other part of the skirt. The texture is now straightened out. This is solely based on preference. If you do not want to do this and prefer the standard UV after seaming, then you are free not to do this. Now, if you are okay with the arrangement of the islands, we will now export it. Go here in UV, Export UV Layout. Save it to a folder or wherever you want and change the size to 512 by 512. This is the standard size that ZEPETO Unity will accept, even for other textures. You may also change the name of the file for proper classification. Then, export UV layout. This UV layout will be used if you want to create your own customized design on your object. Do the same for the rest of your objects. If you have a skin material, do not unwrap it and leave it as it is. If you are done unwrapping, we are good to go in the baking process. Good job! That's it for this video. I hope you learned something new for today. See you in the next one. Bye!